Hello, everyone. I am Derek Jameson, for those of you that don't know me, and I am a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner, and I do intuitive channeling as well as spiritual life coaching. And I've started this little interview series where I give just a shout out to amazing people doing incredible things in our community and in the world. And I just want to give them a platform to be able to share that with people that follow me or that will see this in the future. So that said, my guest today is Jake Ferree, and he is a fitness expert for the body and the mind and the creator of Vinyasa Vault, which is an online program for your yoga and mindfulness needs. Hello, Jake, and welcome to the group.
Hey, Derek. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to implore you with questions.
Yeah.
So Jake and I have known each other for many years, and now we're part of a collaborative team that helps people during challenging times. And I just thought it'd be great for him to kind of showcase what he does to all of you. So Jake, why don't you go ahead and just explain what it is that you do in all of your ways, and that you would like people to know.
Yeah. Well, I've actually been a personal trainer for about 20 years, which, wow, it sneaks up there on the age. And then from personal training, I got into yoga, and I fell in love with yoga, so decided that it would be something that I need to put into my life. So I've been through several trainings of yoga. I've been teaching yoga now for 11 years. And then through there, I was introduced into Thai massage, and then reconnective healing. So I feel like as I've been going through, things just keep on adding on. So I end up picking up all these different kind of tools along the way, and I'm able to find a way that I'm able to bring those into what I do. So the personal training background comes in handy with yoga, the Thai massage comes in handy with yoga, the healing arts, the breathing arts, meditation. It all finds a way to wrap its way in, and that's really what I've been doing for. I've been doing this for a long time, and every year I try to add something new to my toolbox, and it always happens from being inspired by something. Something fascinates me, and I'm like, all right, let's give this a shot. Let's see what this is about.
I think that's amazing, and that's kind of how I approach things as well. I'll be like, okay, something else catches your eye or says you should probably add this into what you're doing, because it curates this very special service or gift that you give others by following those impulses and taking on those things. Because a lot of what you just said, I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I didn't even know that. And I do the same thing, but I do it in my own way, So I think that's just so amazing, because you do curate this very special niche product and service that you can give to people. So how did you start? Well, tell us a little bit about Vinyasa. Honestly, when I hear the word, I know it, and then I forget what it even means.
Okay. Well, Vinyasa is basically just layman's term for yoga with movement. So Vinyasa is movement-based yoga. So you're basically connecting movement with breath, and that's Vinyasa in the simplest form. Connecting movement with breath. Yeah.
Perfect. And so when you made Vinyasa Vault, what was your goal? What was your purpose? Tell us a little bit about it and how to access it.
Actually, about 4 years ago, I did some work with Xbox Fitness, and I developed a yoga program for Xbox. And that was going for a while. It was called Yo 30, so it was all 30-minute based yoga programs. Xbox Fitness stopped all of their fitness probably about 3 years ago. And when that happened, people were being like, I do your Xbox, what's going on? Where's the program going to be now? And I was like, I don't have a program. But I thought it was the perfect time to actually push me into making a program. And so I have Vinyasa Vault, which is now a subscription-based program that has over 80 yoga videos, meditations, tutorials, breath work, and it's all on one platform. And then we also just recently, after with what's going on in the world, we are now adding live stream classes. So currently we're doing 5 live stream classes a week on top of what's already in there in the library content.
That's amazing. Now, are you the primary coach or teacher for that, or are there multiple?
Yeah.
Or
No, right now it's just me. I'm the one that's on the video. I do have a friend, Jenny Kim, who's on some of the videos, and she modifies for the practice. So there's going to be some videos with me and somebody else, and she walks you through like the easier version of a pose. So I'll be like, either follow me and let's try this advanced version, or you can watch Jen and feel free to modify along the way.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So how do you, so you just said yoga, meditation, and breath work. Tell us about this combination of those three things that are very important and why you put them all together in one program.
For sure. I honestly, for me, those were the kind of courses that I started doing for myself, and it's stuff that's been able to work for me. So I'm like, I have to share it. When I first started, everything was yoga based for me. Like I got into yoga, and then eventually I found breath work, and then through breath work I got into meditation. And so with Vinyasa Ball, it's taking all those three modalities that I've been able to learn and to heal from, and to actually make myself a more whole human being. I've developed in the program of Vinyasa Ball. So those are there as options throughout the program. Yeah.
So would you say that you this is part of your daily spiritual practice, and that's why you wanted to give that to other people? Or tell us a little bit about your spiritual practice.
Well, currently now, yes, it is part of my spiritual practice. But like I said before, it was like I just started with one thing and then eventually added something else and then added something else. Currently now, my spiritual practice starts first thing in the morning. As soon as I get up, sit up. So get up, sit up, meditate. Meditate for 20 minutes in the morning. And then from there, I do some reading, and then I do some yoga. I do yoga somewhere throughout the day somewhere. It's normally in the morning, but sometimes it's in the afternoon. So every day I get on the mat, I practice, I check in with myself, check in with my body, and that's where I'm at right now as far as the daily practice is concerned.
Yeah, I think it's really important that people establish a morning routine that speaks to them the first thing in the morning, like you just said. I have mine, and it's similar but different. I do get my body moving, but I like to breathe in the air, so I run at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning just to get that movement going. And it is a form of meditation even to me, not just when I do my own focus meditations. So I think it's very important hearing what you do in the morning, because people need to understand that it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of practice. It's something that they can see what calls to them, what they feel like doing. But taking on some sort of structured practice that they can incorporate in the morning will start their day tuned up to what they want their day to go, how they want it to go, how they want it to unfold, so on and so forth. So I love that.
One thing on that I've noticed is, and I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like it's kind of something that's important to put out there for everybody, is start with one thing. Start with something that you can commit to, and then when that starts to get easier, then you can start adding things. So like right now I have a whole smorgasbord of things that I do in the morning, and if I did all that to begin with, it wouldn't have happened. But all of a sudden, as you start to meditate, as you start to get in this routine, it's as if, in a way, time expands. And although I may have had the same amount of time I had before, I'm so much more productive with it. My mind isn't all over the place, and I'm a bit more focused. And being more focused, you're able to add a whole lot more and get a whole lot more done.
Yeah, foundation, like one brick after another, and then you build a strong foundation to what your home is. But it has to start with the one choice that will lead you in that way. I love that. That's a really, really good point, because people tend to think that they have to do all of these things. They're like, oh, okay, I have a checklist. I have to do X, Y, and Z every single morning, but really it's choosing one thing. I think the one thing that I chose in the morning that really started that practice for me was just saying, wow, thank you for the unexpected things that are going to come from this day. Tuning into, I'm going to be surprised and delighted with whatever happens. No matter what happens, I still tuned in. That was one thing that really worked for me. And then you're right. The rest just starts opening up, and then you're able to explore, and then it locks in like clockwork for you, and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So speaking of the community, what are you doing for your personal community at this time as people are going through a challenging time? What do you typically tell people, or what kind of tips and tools can you give people that are going through a challenging time?
Yeah. I started adding live classes, and that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and now it's like that's just what you got to do right now. So that's been forced in. But one thing that I've been doing with it, and usually doing with most of the first time that we come into the practice, is I want you to pause and notice how you're feeling right now. So constant check-ins, and then checking in throughout the practice, and remind people to check in throughout the day and have kind of a buddy system that you can call and see how are you doing today, what's going on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Because I've noticed that through this in the last few weeks, it's one day all of a sudden I'll be like at a 5, and then throughout the day I may be like at an 8, and then it may drop down to a 6, and it's kind of, there's so much going on right now that it's very interesting. It's even as grounded as I am at times, all of a sudden you're going to have something that comes up that you're just like, that just kind of hits you for a moment. And it's like, wait a minute, let's pause, let's check in. And I think if you're able to do that fast enough when it comes up, then you have the power to change it. So if I'm aware quickly that I'm at a 5, then I have more room to be able to like, okay, like let's pull out this tool, let's pull out this tool, let's do this. Or if I have a buddy that calls that we can talk to, or I call someone else to talk to. But if the problem that ends up happening, I think sometimes is we end up operating on this 4 or 5 level without acknowledging it, without really being aware of it, and then by the end of the day you're exhausted and you feel really beat up. When sometimes all it takes is let's stop, pause, feel, notice, and then from there, what can we do to start creating some kind of shift?
Yeah, because you can't really get somewhere. Yeah, you have to acknowledge where you're at and see where you're at and be aware of that, or else you don't actually have any direction of where you're going and how to get there. And I think that's very important that you do have that check-in, and that you do kind of like look in the mirror, so to speak, and ask yourself, like, where am I at? Allow that to be okay, and then see where you want to go from there, or what would make you feel better. I really like your approach to, it's part of your, I mean, it sounds like it would be part of your mindfulness information, but I think it's catching. Are you there? It's loading.
There you are. I'm here.
There we go.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
There we go. It's back. Yeah, but it sounds like very much a piece of mindfulness and a practice of mindfulness. So that way, I really like that approach, and I think that's a really good tool for everyone to take, if anything, from this talk today. That's a really, really good one. What is I want to know what your life purpose is. I want to know what your mission is. Like, why are you here? What do you feel? Like, what are you here to do?
Yeah. I will say that what I want to continue to do is keep growing and expanding. I think that's what everyone needs to do. But also, I've had this thing that I've been doing for, I don't know, like 22 years, of when I notice that I'm really inspired by something, I will fully jump into it. And I have like a little spark, and I'm like, what is this? And it fascinates me, and then that fascination drives me into it. So as far as like to say like, this is the plan and it's going to go here, it hasn't been that. It's been more of, let's stay fully present and notice what sparks me, what ignites me, and then be aware of that, and then let that lead me. And then from there, it's worked for me. It's worked. That's how I've led my entire life. Is I feel this little spark, and I'm like, okay, let's jump on it. Let's jump on it and see what that's about. See where that takes me. And I've noticed that as I do that, it just keeps expanding me in different ways and takes me somewhere else. It's not to say that I don't have goals and stuff like that, because I do, and I see a lot for myself. But with that said, I do notice when I have these sparks, and that's what I jump on. I jump on it and I let it lead me.
But that goes to creating in the every now moment. So that's exactly what it is like to manifest and attract the things that you desire, is by listening to that present moment of what lights me up, what makes me feel like what's going to make me happy right now. Because doing that opens the doors to a list of other things that are going to bring that same kind of happiness. So sure. That is literally the key to law of attraction and manifesting, is exactly what you just said. So that's incredible, and I really like that as well. I do want you to talk about breath work And I
Sure.
want you to, like, there's all kinds of breath work or techniques to be able
Yeah.
to do specific things within the body. What is something that you focus on or that you teach?
Yeah. I breathwork in general is called pranayama. Pranayama just means breath. So there's a lot of different techniques within the breath. And there's a lot of different ways that you can change the breath to get different feelings out of it. And I think the breath work gets a little confusing for people because they're like, well, obviously I know how to breathe, like I'm alive. It's like, yes, but can we take the time to slow down the breath, to control the breath, and to learn how we can get the breath to work with us? Because as we learn to be able to slow down the breath and calm the breath, the body finds a way to mirror that. And so does the mind. So we calm down the breath, we calm down the mind. We calm down the breath, we calm down the body. And it goes hand in hand. And I think a lot of people understand that in some ways because we have the whole let's stop and count to 10. Or if somebody is going through, like women when they become pregnant, they have to go through Lamaze class. Like they're aware that the breath is so important there, but people tend to forget how important it is throughout the rest of their life. One thing that I focus on that I really love that I've had a lot of really great results from is called the 3-part breath. And basically what that is it's taking the breath and moving it through different parts of the body to help clear out stress throughout the body or the mind in a way. And it's going to be a 3-part breath. And what I mean by that is you're breathing in 2 breaths in and 1 breath out. The first breath that you take goes in and fills up the belly. The second breath you take in fills up throughout the chest, and then you let it all go. So it sounds something like this. It's so it's in, and out. And let's actually do that for like a minute and see what happens. So let's connect it together.
Everybody
so
do it too.
Start,
Everybody has to do it.
So I'll start and just go ahead and join me when you feel ready for it. So it's belly, chest, release, in, out. In, out. Expansion, opening, release. And then keep that going. And you're going to start to notice the body starts to respond to things a little bit differently. You start to feel this bit of energy spike throughout the body. Maybe a bit of a pulsating or kind of a tingling in your hands. Really thinking of that exhale breath as a way for you to release, to let go of some of that stickiness. 5 more. Just 2. And last one, in, and out. And then just pause. Let the rest of the breath come in and out through the nose. And just notice for a moment. Notice how the body feels. Notice what's going on with the mind. Some things in a way of trying to clear out in a bit. The body starts to relax. Maybe you feel a little tingling in the hands or within the body. And, you know, how I try to kind of explain what happened here, I love this analogy, if you can think of this. If you take a snow globe, we've all seen a snow globe. You take a snow globe, you pick it up, you start to shake it, and then all of a sudden there's this storm that happens within the globe. If you take that globe after you've shaken it and put it on a flat surface, all of a sudden all that snow just kind of dissipates and lands on the floor. Okay, it relaxes. If we can think of this breath as if we're picking up that snow globe, we're shaking it, and what's happening within it is this energy. This energy just starts to move around, it starts to shake around, and then we stop here in this moment where we're at now. We put it down and we let all that energy just kind of sink into us, and we drop into a place of deeper trust. Is trust in a way that the energy will go where it needs to go, and that's what it does. Like we allow ourselves to kind of work through that breath, and it works through blockages within the body. If you kind of think of it as energy gets stuck sometime and it ends up getting blocked. You can think of it kind of like a dam. Okay? We have a big a dam of energy that's stuck there, and the energy's not moving through the body. So the breath, in a way, is going to help circulate that. It helps move that energy through the body. And the breath is just one way to do it. You know, we also do it with movement. We do it with yoga. We do it with mindfulness. All different ways to clear energy throughout the body. And the breath is just a tool that can be used to help clear out that space. And you'll notice that when we're done with it, it feels different. The mind feels more open. It feels more expanded. How did you feel?
Yeah, immediately, like literally the second one in, I was already, my crown chakra was like, I mean, it was like, "Ah!" I mean, there might as well have been light shooting out of me because I could feel it. And then after that, it went throughout the rest of my body and I could feel it immediately. And that's why you're like, keep it going. I was like, oh my God, this is like, it's intense, but in this really awesome, like euphoric way. And it was like such a simple practice to do those three breaths. What did you call it again? 3-point breathing?
I
Or?
just call it the three-part breath.
I
People
mean,
call
I
it different
literally
things, but I just call it the three-part. It's the
yeah,
easier.
I could feel it immediately. And then after I was done, I was like, whoo, I had to like literally
Yeah,
like
you feel a little
allow it.
high.
Yeah, you feel
Just
high,
thinking.
but like in such a beautiful natural state that is
Yeah,
not disconcerting. It's a clear high. It's a clear,
yeah,
beautiful, euphoric high, and you're right. After that, the energy just kind of settles down and it allows
hmm
it to, you just feel more open and expanded and much more
yeah.
grounded and clear. So that's amazing. I hope other people did that breath work when we were just doing it too. If you did, raise your little hand on
Your
there
little
or
paw.
like comment on it. I just think
Um,
that was so cool. I'm gonna do it
yeah,
again.
I actually do have a story about it. The first time I did it, there was an instructor that was teaching a breathwork class after my yoga class at the studio I worked at. So I'm like, oh, let's just breathwork business. Let's give it a shot. And I went to it, and it was an hour long of that breathing, which was really, really intense. I've never experienced anything like that before. And I got done with the class, and Derek, I literally felt like I got hit by a car. Like it was that intense for me. And I was walking home at the time, and there's this girl that's walking next to me that was in class, and she's like skipping along, like she's like the happiest little pixie fairy in the world, just right next to me. And I'm like, did we just do the same thing? Like, I don't understand what just happened here, because you're emanating this like this beauty and this shine, and it's just like you're so happy. And I'm just like, what just happened to me? And I felt like it really drained me, but it fascinated me, because I'm like, well, I have to figure out what this is, like what's going on, and why did I respond to it this way and she responded to it completely different. I want to feel how she was feeling. So what I did, I was also going through some major shit in my life at that time, and I needed some big healing. And what it does is stirs up what's going on within us. And what we're doing here is we're stirring that, we're bringing it up the surface. And my stuff was coming up the surface. So it was like, it was pretty heavy for me. But I noticed that as I kept on coming back, as I kept on doing it, it kept clearing and clearing and clearing. And now when I do it, it's like you said, your crown chakra just feels like it's open, and you're just like, oh my God, I have all this energy and it feels amazing and it's so great. But it depends on what's going on with anything, you know. But it will bring up stuff to the surface. And I do want to say to people, like, trust that. You know, things are coming up because they're ready to be released. They're coming up because they're ready to be released. If we can just drop into this place of trust that process of it coming up, so we can clear it out instead of pushing it back in. You know, and that really is the thing, because eventually we get rid of that stuff, and then we come into doing something like this, and it's just like euphoric. It's just like, this is amazing, and look at my energy now, and look what I can do. But sometimes we have to get through a bunch of shit in order to be able to feel the beauty of it.
Now, is that breathing technique something that you put in Vinyasa Vault in one of the programs, or?
Yeah, there's a few of the programs that do have the breathing in it. I have different sections that are set up. There's the yoga section, and then there's the meditation mindfulness section. So the breath work, we do a few videos that are doing the breath work in the mindfulness section.
And how can people that are watching find out more information or join a class?
Yeah, it's super easy. Just look up VinyasaVault.com, and it's vault like a safe, like we're opening up the safe, VAULT, not a lightning bolt. Vinyasa Vault. But if you just click on Trainer Jake, you can find all the information on there as well on Instagram. But we also have an Instagram page for Vinyasa Vault as well. But follow me, and you'll figure it out on my page where to find it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely follow him because he's always posting tips and tools and when a class is, and you can jump on. He's making it known what he's doing, and I love that. I love that you just led the people. You led the people
The
in
people.
some breath work. Like I feel really good just doing that short little bit. Imagine what it
That
could
was
be if like I
a minute of just stopping and breathing. Like, and it's so easy to do, to change that perspective just by stopping in that moment and connecting to the breath. Just like in the earlier when I said, like, what do we do to check in with people? Like, where are you right now? I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm on an 8. Okay, let's pause. Let's breathe a bit and then come back to that. Now, where are you? Like, I actually feel like I'm at an 8.5 or a 9. Like, it does increase this energy level.
yeah.
And I think it's important for us to notice where we're at so we can decide to do something about it.
I love that. And that's why I wanted to talk to you because I know that you exude being there for people, helping them, and following what you're called to do. And I absolutely love that. Do you have any more messages or a parting message for the people that are watching and the people that will watch this?
Yeah. Follow me on my page. Like Derek said, I'm always having some free stuff on there as well. So tune into that. If you get on Vinyasa Vault, there's the first 3 days are free. So jump on it. It doesn't cost you anything. Give it a shot. There's a lot of content on there. You can just go and do one of the breathwork classes. And they're anywhere from 5 minutes to over an hour of different classes on there. So, give it a shot. And there's a lot of really great tools that can help with what's going on right now in the world.
Amazing. I love that. I love that we had this time together, and I think that we'll pop on for little bits here and there, like a tips and tools kind of thing here and there, just for fun, and keep this conversation going because I really think that what you're doing and the way you're approaching it is what people really need to tap into right now with being present, being mindful, tuning into the body, checking in with the self. And I exactly why I wanted to talk to you today and share what you have as your vision and what you're bringing to the world. So I thank you so much for sharing that with these people today.
All of that right back at you, my friend.
Thank you. Well, you have a wonderful day. Go back inside to your bathroom and see and see what's going on.
My non-bathroom.
Your non-bathroom.
Peace.
And we will talk soon. All right.
All right, bud.
All right,
Take
thank
care.
you. This is
Thanks
Derek
for having me
Jameson. We thank you for being here.
All right, peace.